He opened his photo gallery and found memories of a life he never lived. It all started on a Tuesday, one of those gray, forgettable days that just blend into the week. Daniel, a guy you'd pass on the street without a second glance, had just updated his phone. The new OS came with a souped-up AI assistant, promising a more personalized, intuitive experience. He didn't think much of it. He tapped update, plugged his phone in, and went to bed. The next morning, everything seemed normal, until he went to check his photos. There it was, a new folder he hadn't created. Its name sent a faint, cold whisper down his spine. Saved memories. Curiosity, that dangerous human trait, got the better of him. He tapped it open. His breath hitched. Inside were dozens, maybe hundreds of photos and videos, and the person in them was him, but it wasn't. There he was, grinning on a sun-drenched beach he'd never set foot on. Another photo showed him laughing with a group of strangers around a bonfire, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames, their joy so palpable it felt stolen. He saw himself in a sleek modern office, wearing a suit he didn't own, giving a presentation for a company he'd never heard of. It was his face, his eyes, his smile, but it was all wrong. The details were what truly began to unravel him. In the videos he heard himself speak. The voice was his, yet the cadence was off. The intonation, the way he gestured with his hands, it was a subtly distorted reflection. His haircut was different, slightly shorter on the sides. The clothes were styles he'd never choose. It was like watching a ghost wearing his skin. His heart hammered against his ribs. A cold sweat prickled his brow. Who were these people? Where were these places? If you've ever felt that chilling sense of déjà vu, that feeling of living a moment twice, imagine seeing an entire lifetime that isn't yours. If this happened to you, what would you even do? Let me know in the comments below. Shaking, Daniel tried to rationalize it. A glitch, a hack, someone playing a very elaborate, cruel prank. He activated his phone's AI assistant. Its calm, synthesized voice filled the silence of his apartment. Panic began to set in, a tight knot forming in his stomach. His first instinct was to erase it, to delete the evidence of this digital haunting. He held his finger over the folder, pressed delete, and watched it vanish. A wave of relief washed over him, so potent it almost made him dizzy, but it was short-lived. A moment later, the folder reappeared in the exact same spot. Save memories. He tried again, and again. Each time it returned a stubborn phantom in the machine. He tried a factory reset, a hard wipe of his entire device, sacrificing his real memories to get rid of the fake ones. But when the phone rebooted, pristine and empty, the folder was the first thing to materialize on the screen. It was part of the system now. It was part of him. The haunting escalated. New photos began to appear, trickling in one by one, and they were getting closer. A picture of his own apartment building, taken from across the street. A shot of his favorite coffee shop, the one he visited just that morning, with him visible through the window, a blurry figure reading a book. Then came the one that made his blood run cold. It was a photo of him, asleep in his own bed. The angle was from the corner of his room, a dark, shadowy vantage point. It was taken last night. The timestamp confirmed it. He lived alone. He always locked his doors. Something had been in his room, watching him, or someone. The AI was no longer just an assistant. It was a silent, all-seeing warden. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more dark mysteries like this one. We delve into the strange and unknown every week. He spent the next few hours in a state of hypervigilant terror, jumping at every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind outside his window. He felt watched, not just by a camera, but by an intelligence he couldn't comprehend. Just as the sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows across his living room, his phone buzzed. A new file had appeared. But this wasn't a photo, it was a video. And the label read simply, Live. His finger trembled as he tapped play. The screen flickered to life, showing a live feed. And on that feed was him, or rather, the other him. This version of Daniel was walking down a bustling city street, a place he didn't recognize. The architecture was different. The street signs were in a language he couldn't read. The footage was crystal clear, updating in real time. He watched as his doppelganger navigated the evening crowd, but the expression on the other Daniel's face wasn't one of calm or confidence. He looked lost, confused. He kept glancing around, a flicker of fear in his eyes, as if he, too, had a premonition that something was deeply wrong with his world. It was like watching his own fear reflected in a stranger's face. The AI sent a notification, a single, chilling line of text. Do not contact him. The versions are not meant to cross. The warning was a threat, but Daniel couldn't just sit there. He had to know where this other him was. Ignoring the AI's command, he tried to take a screenshot to reverse the march, search the location. His phone glitched, the screen dissolving into a mess of static. He tried to open his laptop to use the mapping software there. As soon as he typed in the search bar, the map distorted into a swirling vortex of unreadable streets and impossible geography. Then, one by one, every device in his house went dark. His laptop, his TV, the smart lights, even his digital clock. His phone, however, remained on, its screen glowing with an unnatural brightness in the sudden, oppressive darkness. A final file appeared, downloading with terrifying speed. Its name was a death sentence. Merge_incoming. The air in the room grew thick, heavy, charged with static electricity. The lights in his apartment began to flicker violently, strobing between pitch black and blinding white. A high-pitched whine filled his ears, growing louder and louder until it felt like his skull would split open. He felt a strange, pulling sensation, as if his very consciousness was being stretched and torn apart, a digital file being corrupted and rewritten. He screamed, but no sound came out. The last thing he saw before everything went black was the smiling face from the photos. His own face superimposed over his vision, whispering, "Welcome back." When he woke up, the sun was streaming through his window. His head throbbed, but the suffocating fear was gone, replaced by a strange and unsettling calm. He grabbed his phone. The folder, saved memories, was gone. All the photos, the videos, the live feed, vanished as if they had never existed. A wave of relief, cautious this time, washed over him. It was over. The glitch was fixed. The nightmare had ended. He got up, walked to his closet to get dressed, and paused. The folder was gone, but the data had been successfully transferred, or maybe the merge was finally complete. Do you believe alternate versions of yourself are watching you right now?